We just got different viewpoints, you and me. That doesn't mean we can't talk. We don't have to be enemies.
What's up, guys? I can't tell if anybody's in here. If anybody's in here, go ahead and leave a comment. Something. We're at a live stream downtown, Memphis, Tennessee. And what I'm trying to do right now is, if you look around me, you'll see that we have these Uptown Square apartments and the tower over here. I want to find out exactly where Lauderdale Court is. That's where Elvis first stayed in Memphis. And it's an often under talked about area that we really need to talk about. Always great live life. I'm going to shut this. I'll let the audio play. I don't give a shit. Sitting about monetary stuff. The guy cooked over on the side of the road here, no signage or nothing, just cooking barbecue. Hell yeah, bro. I bet it's good as hell too. All these bail bond places right next to 201 Poplar down here. That's our jail, 201 Poplar. But I want to find somebody who really knows the area. Let me see if I can find anybody to ask a question to. We're going over here. I'm going to try to show y'all what I'm seeing down here. Hey, can I ask y'all a question? Where's Lauderdale Courts? That's it right there. That's what they've done to it.
Life of the nation.
Where's I'd have to, but I could get a tour and go see the man's apartment, right? Elvis's apartment. Okay, because he lived right down there. All right, I appreciate you guys. I wasn't filming you. I'm filming this way. All right, interesting. They have no idea. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, this is kind of like a forgotten part of a history of Elvis, and it really needs to be remembered. And I'll tell you why in a minute if you're in here. A beautiful day downtown Memphis. What is today? February? Shit, let me think. February 20-something. Maybe the 20th. Might be the 21st. I'm not positive. Is anybody in here with me? What's up, bro? Okay, so we're down here trying to solve this mystery in downtown Memphis. Now, it's not really a mystery, but I'm just perplexed as to why there's no historical markers or anything around here. This should be an area. This should be an area that has some signage to talk about the importance of it. So I'll go ahead and start and give you guys a little of the history, since we're walking past where Elvis first lived, right over there across the street. Now, this place used to be called Lauderdale Courts. And a very interesting fact, it was a whites only community. Yes. Here in downtown Memphis. This was built for poor white people. Poor white people. It was Elvis's first home in the city of Memphis. Very interesting that he was in a whites only housing project. I find that just fascinating. You don't hear much about that side. And I just want to talk about it from a personal viewpoint. I think that it's pretty funny to me that back during that time period they were trying to separate blacks and whites. So it was such a thing, you know. They made a big deal out of it. Whites had to have their own shit. Blacks had to have their own shit. What makes it so funny is that this young poor boy who came up from Mississippi, and these were the only apartments his parents could afford at the time. It was a housing project. That a little white kid, poor white kid, got moved into a white community and was basically, well, you can't really keep me away from the things I want to see. So let's really think about that, how fascinating that is, that Elvis, despite living in a whites-only area, I think his apartment's right up there somewhere. You have to take a tour to do it, or to see his home. But amazing history behind this, which is now an apartment complex refurbished. You can go online and find pictures of Elvis. Well, you can't find pictures of Elvis, but you can find pictures of the laundry room here. Because apparently Elvis would go play in the laundry room. That's where he could get his privacy, you know, and jam out to his first tunes. He was just a little kid. Just a little kid when he moved into this. If you have any questions or anything, throw them up there. I can see you. Let's rob some house. Going for the Kid Rock look? No, bro. Kid Rock's going for my look. Yeah, but we'll walk and talk about that I'm not going to show too much. These are probably what the originals look like when Elvis actually lived here. He was a kid. He was a kid from Mississippi. Came up here. Had to be fascinating to him to move into an area of downtown Memphis. I mean, we're literally, downtown's right there. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to show you something else today, which you never hear about. But this really is where it all started. It's unbelievable that we don't have more information. Stunning, actually. Because somewhere in this complex right here, a modern sound was created by a young kid from Mississippi. White kid, moved up here, probably lived around black people most of his lives. He did, actually. Very influenced on gospel music. It just makes you wonder, you know, with today, everybody moving away from each other, you know, whites want to be in white areas, blacks stay, or I'm not saying blacks want to be in black areas, but a lot of segregation going on, personal segregation in this country. And it really makes you wonder how much we're losing music-wise. You know what I mean? We're losing a lot because people of different cultures and backgrounds who live together learn together. They love together. They pass their sounds on to each other. It's a beautiful thing, and we're kind of gotten away from that in this country. And it makes me a little sad. Anybody got any comments while I'm walking here? If there's anybody in here? We are walking on hallowed ground here. Mr. Elvis Presley, as a kid, I try to imagine him playing on these streets, maybe these same sidewalks. I have no idea. But he would come home. He wasn't like the other kids, you know. His parents asked him if he wanted a bike or a guitar, and he picked a guitar. Thank goodness. And he was ostracized for that a little bit. You know, he probably ran with a different crowd than most of the kids. And as soon as we get around this corner right here, I'll show you what he would have seen as we travel to the next location on this little mini tour here. Have you heard country rap? Segregation needs to come back. That's a funny comment. Ted Burglar. You know what I mean, man. I mean, I'm not saying that all that music. Yeah, but he probably lived in a tiny little apartment like this. This is probably somebody's apartment, so I'm not going to put my camera on it for too long. Yeah, but all that history through here, we don't see anything. It's kind of wiped out. I don't know that we ever had it set up where we could figure out, you know, learn the history and the story behind his first home over here. That's why I wanted to show you guys today. Sorry about all the noise. A lot of cars driving by. You look right over there. There's a Memphis Sheriff's Department. Everybody, let the little Sheriff's Department know we see them over there. Now this is pretty. This is kind of like what I would imagine it probably would have. These look older. Let me flip it around. These look a lot older right through here. I don't know, but Elvis said that, you know, he picked the guitar and he had to watch all his little friends get on their bikes and ride around and play, while he would find the laundry room in here and jam out. And I heard that he'd have other musicians come in there and jam with him too. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. I feel privileged to be here. I can feel his presence. Even though other people don't want to tell this history or show this part, this is the most important part of the man, the myth, the legend. Because that Elvis never moved into these courtyards, Lauderdale Courts, White Housing Project. Had he never moved into this in downtown, I don't think we would have had Elvis. This is where Elvis was created. This is where we mixed it all up. I'm going to show you the view he has of downtown. This poor kid from Mississippi, Tupelo, came up here and was plopped into a new housing development right here. And if you look right over here, I know, man, it's not the best view. I had to go vertical. I wanted to go horizontal, but nobody comes into the horizontal videos. But he comes out, and this is what he sees. A poor kid from Tupelo. Right there, downtown Memphis. He sees that every day after he comes out of school. Now, this is my favorite part of the story. We got to get over here first so I could show you. And now it's just rows and rows of bail bond places, unfortunately. Because right over here is 201 Poplar. That's the main county, the main jail for the city. All right, here's where the tour. Thank you for hanging with me while I walk. There's no cuts in this because clearly I can't do cuts in a live stream. Here's where it gets very exciting, people. And I'll explain in a minute. All right. Here we are. Now, I'm going to show you the other side of the building here. But this nondescript building that you see right here, I don't even know what it is now, but we'll see. We'll see in a minute. But this building right here, I'm going to let the trucks go by so I can talk to you about it. Because this location is not marked and should be. Because this location right here as we go on down, was the first place that Elvis bought his first record. Elvis bought his first record right over here. And now it's a bond place. Right here. It's really sad. Really sad. But now you guys know Danny Thomas and Poplar, right here on the corner. This is where Elvis bought his first record, right here. He bought his first record. This used to be a very big record store. I think it was Pop Tunes, maybe. But yeah, this is it. Right here. And they don't, they're inside. I don't even know if people inside know. Drives me crazy. Drives me totally crazy. The country boy kid, would come from his housing project right down here every day after school. He'd save up his money and he would come right down here and he'd go in here and he bought his first record in this store right here. Danny Thomas and Poplar. Hidden Elvis right here. I can feel it. I can feel the presence. Imagine this kid had to go in there and figure out what music he wanted. What record was he going to pick that was going to continue him on his journey through music history? He chose that record right here in front of this building. And I, for one, very upset that it's not memorialized. But there it is. If you're ever this way and you want to tell somebody something about Elvis they didn't know, these two things right here would be what you'd want to show. Elvis skipping along this sidewalk right here. He walked this sidewalk, the king of rock and roll, in order to chart his path in music history. He came right here to this building. I wish this guy right here would come out and talk to us. There's a guy right in there. I wonder if he knows. Yeah, I'm very interested if that guy that works on the inside there even knows how incredible this building actually is. All right, where y'all want to go next? Anybody here? Where you want to go next? Are you Mr. Pinky? Anybody have any questions or anything for me? I would really love for them to come out and see. It's so crazy because I do audits everywhere. People want to come out when they see a camera all the time and get in your face and yell at you and tell you can't do it. Today, when I actually want them to do it, they're not doing it. They're not coming out. But here at Gen Express, we always respect the law. We're always legal. We're on a public sidewalk here. I really would love for these guys to come out, though, just to see if they know this building they're sitting in is how historic this building is. The king of rock and roll, at a very young age, saved his money that he didn't have a lot of, came right over here and bought his first record. Amazing. Hello. I want to tell people. And it's almost like I want to sit over here with a sign and let people know how important this building is. All right, I don't know how much longer I'm going to make this live feed just because I don't know how many people are in here, first off. But second off, I will tell you this. Since we've walked a mile in Elvis's shoes here today, not even a mile, from right over there to right here, this is where music history began. So you can go to Graceland and check out all the cool stuff. But if you really want to show something cool, come to Danny Thomas Boulevard and Poplar Avenue, and it says Allegiant Bonding Services. You can tell all your friends that this is where it happened. Now, as I walk back this way, I will tell you one more story about Elvis that I know about this area. Now, he did go downtown all the time. You can see downtown right there. It's within walking distance. He was down there. That's where he got a lot of his musical influence. He got his musical influences from black churches. He went to black churches and played in the choirs. So this right here, all this made Elvis. This is all Elvis. Without all this, we would have never gotten the king of rock and roll. Would have never happened. Hello. All right, I've harped on that enough. I just think it's super cool. I just think it's really, really cool. And I'm not going to walk there today. I'm not going to walk there today, but I will tell you another huge step, another huge part of this story is if you walk right over here in this direction over here, somewhere in those buildings right up through there, not too far away, it would be within walking distance for a child or, however old he was, 12, 13, 14. But if you continue to walk around there and you turn that way, that is where Sun Studios is. So we're on hallowed ground right now. Elvis Presley very well. There is no might have walked these sidewalks. Elvis Presley absolutely walked these sidewalks. And after he went there to here and got his first record and got all his talent going, decided, I'm going to write a record. He walked right around there, down that corner to Sun Studios, and Mr. Sam Phillips recognized him for what he was, talented, made a record for his mom, went over to Sun Studios, made a record for his mom. Sam Phillips caught wind of the kid. The rest is history. So when you come to Memphis, go to Graceland, go to Sun Studios, go to all the big locations. You're going to love everything about it if you're into music. But never forget that this area right down here is where it all began. I love Elvis. I love him as a human more than I love him as a performer. The guy was, he was just a good human being. And that's why I'm so drawn to him. All the nonsense that you heard through the years about Elvis being a racist, you can throw that shit out the window because it's 100% untrue. Elvis was a poor white kid who loved the people around him. Didn't matter if you were white, black, red, green, brown, none of that mattered to the king of rock and roll. The king in rock and roll just loved music, and he loved good people. Towards the end of his career, he got into gospel music. This is what he loved the most. And quite honestly, it's really what he was the best at, because he was able to really emote and put his passion into that music. We won't talk about all the bullshit movies that Colonel Tom Parker made him do. We could get on Tom Parker real quick. If you don't know Elvis's history, he had a manager, Colonel Tom Parker, who was the biggest piece of crap in the world you've ever met. He took this gift that God gave us in Elvis Presley, and he hemmed him up and would only allow him to produce or to make shitty Hollywood movies. And the worst part about it is Colonel Tom Parker never let Elvis leave or perform anywhere outside the United States. Sickening. Just a disgusting person all around. I'll never have one good thing to say about that man, because Elvis he was already the biggest thing in the world, but he could have been even bigger. Had that man been able to perform and give his gifts to other countries, just imagine how amazing that would have been, man. And shout out to all the foreigners out there who still to this day come over to Memphis and visit the gravesite of Elvis. I appreciate you guys. Pass it on to your kids. Everybody go see that new movie, Epic. I saw it last night, and Elvis Presley in concert. It's great shit. We need to, when I was watching that movie last night, I did notice in the theater around me, there was a mix of people, but I'm not going to lie, it was mainly really old people. But I saw older people who had brought their sons, grandsons, daughters, granddaughters. And when that movie releases on the 27th, I challenge all my viewers to go check it out. You will not be disappointed in the slightest. All right, as I head over back around, he and his daughter Elvis was from the hood, such a good soul. Yes, he was an amazing person. And I for many years we had to listen to that Elvis was racist. I don't know where that came from. But then black artists started speaking out and saying, no, man, Elvis wasn't racist. Elvis he took a sound. Yes, he did copy sounds from R&B artists. There's no doubt about that. He did that. How much of that was forced on him and how much he had to do with it, those are two different things. But I don't think he stole their music. I think he highlighted their music to a lot of different people who would have never heard their music had Elvis not come along. So he has a place. I get it. He played some black music and got popular. But he did it in his own way, in his own style, and it's the only way he knew how. And he was like, damned if you don't understand. They tried to get him to change so many times, and he said, I'm just me. I'm just going to keep on being me. So when I hear that from Elvis, man, it makes me go, Elvis, I got a little of you in me. I got a lot of you in me, actually. And yeah, it's been fun, guys. I'm going to pan back around and show you the front again of these Lauderdale Square apartments, or Lauderdale Courts apartments. And I'm going to wish you all a great day. I'm going to pop back up live here in a little bit, maybe, and go back by Crosstown. So if you're around, come check it out. I'm just out and about today, enjoying the sights and sounds of the city. If those are things you want to see, by all means, sub the channel. I love every one of you. Continue to talk to each other. Remember, it's not red versus blue. It's the 1% versus you. Until next time, guys.